It is one of the jankiest tanks I've ever seen in my life.
There's a little bubble right there.
It's a grafted frog spawn. We've got these rainbow chalices. Lame. You guys are fake. Fake reefers. Welcome back to Queen City Corals, guys. Today I have a very special video for you guys. This is a little store update. I did a store tour a little while ago, but we've added a couple of tanks, I think, since then. And I just want to kind of let you guys know what's going on with the shop and some progress updates on a few things and some little developments here and there. So let's start off up front here. So right when you walk in, we have these 3 tanks here. So in this tank, we have every fish store that you guys go to has like a junk drawer like you guys have at your house. A place where you just kind of throw stuff. So on this left side of this tank, we have some of our black light torches that you guys might be familiar with. I'm gonna let you guys know it is currently, I'll give you the exact time, 9:19, okay? So everything is closed up. I just turned on the lights for this video. So things are gonna be, you know, kind of closed up, except for a very exciting new addition that we just got. These are the blue light torches that we had a while ago that were super popular, and we ended up just running out of stock of them. But we got a fresh shipment of them in, and they're actually the only torch in this tank that is fully open at night. So they're definitely super healthy. Some of these frags, they're actually encrusted onto the frag plug, which is something I've never really seen before. So, especially with torches. So they are definitely super healthy, have some really great flesh to them. And I'm very excited to have gotten these in, and we should be getting some more in, and they should be hitting the website very soon. Probably, yeah, by the time this video goes up, those guys should be live on the website. They're gonna be the blue light torches, and they are super fat and happy. Then on the other side of this tank, we've got some more Euphyllia. I've got a few octospawns here. Some of the yellows, a few hammers, some zoas. These are zoas that actually had zoopox, and we ended up treating them with nitrofurazone, I believe it's called. But that worked really well. That was the first time I've dealt with zoopox. We actually got it from a customer who brought in a rock, which is very annoying. Because typically when customers bring me things, especially when they've grown them, I feel like they're gonna be clean. So I'll usually just give them one dip and go ahead and put them in one of my systems. So obviously these were not. So we had to get out everything that had the zoopox, and we had to dip them for a while. Luckily, that all cleared up, and these are zoopox free now. We completed the last treatment, I think, about 2 months ago, and there's been no sign of anything since, which is really good. Then over here, we've got a mushroom rock that someone brought in. These are the aquatic dream mushrooms. They're kind of closed up right now, but something real interesting is a couple of them look like they're bouncing. You can't really tell because they're closed up right now, obviously. But that one right there, it's very difficult to see because we don't clean the acrylic over here, but there's a little bubble right there. So I'm gonna keep this rock in here, probably not frag it down too much for a little while, because those seem like they're bouncing, which is really cool. Next up here, we've got some of these OG Space Invader chalices. These guys love growing and hate being fragged. I don't know why, but whenever I frag these guys, half the frags die, so I have to let them sit for like a month before I can sell them because they need to be fully encrusted. So a customer brought that in along with this massive leather, and this thing opens up. I mean, this is in the front of the tank, but that's my hand for kind of a size comparison. It opens up probably 50% bigger, but it is absolutely massive and a really nice piece. He had, I think, a 300-gallon tank, and he just needed to make space. He also brought us some of these nuclear green Monties, which are really cool. The green Monties already are a little tougher to find than some of the red ones, and these nuclear green ones are really sick. There's also this cherry tree Monty, kind of hard to see. Some people also call that one the Riptide Rush. And then down in this bottom tank, I had to go in the AI app to turn these on. I didn't want to do that. I just went in Mobius. Sorry, guys. But you guys don't want to see what's in here anyways. There's some Grandis Pallies, some ugly mushrooms, and some leathers in the back. Nothing too exciting other than the really cool maroon clown pair we have. We've got a really big maroon in there. I think the customer had her for like 4 years, something like that. But she's a pretty big girl, and she's not super aggressive, which is nice. I think it's because we moved her into this tank, but we got a pair of maroons in there. I've not been bitten by them, which is something I cannot say for most maroon clowns, especially at that size. So very well behaved maroons, which is something that I don't see very often, and why I have a rule of never getting maroons in this shop anywhere, because we had one, they bite, and I don't want to put my hand in a tank where a fish is going to bite me. That's very annoying if I'm grabbing a coral for a customer or packing an order and a fish is biting me. Makes me angry. Okay, now that that rant is over with, this is our order holding tank. So all of the orders that are going out for Thursday and Friday arrival. So we ship them out Wednesday and then Thursday. Today is Wednesday, so that's why this section is so empty and why this one's so full. So we'll ship out all these orders tomorrow, and then it will all be empty as well until it starts to fill up for the next week. Nothing really changed with this. In the store update, I talked about this tank briefly, and we had just set it up, but now it's running. We put customers' orders in there. Nothing too crazy about that tank. This is our 80-gallon display tank. We have a video on it. And in the store update, I said we are gonna redo this tank, but I think we are going to redo this tank just kind of to mix things up a little bit and get a different look in here since it's been the same kind of thing for so long. We just want to mix it up and get some new views going. And the reason was because we had these things called blue clove polyps. Now, I have some over here that I'll show you guys, some left over. These are an absolute menace. We ended up getting them from a guy who shut down his tank because he couldn't get rid of them. And what happened was, I thought I got rid of all of them that were on the corals, but it ended up that there was a Monty that still had a little bit on the underside of it. But when they're not open, it just looks like little squiggles. So it's like very faint and difficult to see. And so I ended up putting it in this system right here. And eventually it just spread. And especially in a system like this, they're very difficult to see because they grow right up against the polyps. And so a lot of times you really can't see them. We've eradicated it from here, which is very good. But I had a leather that I moved over into this system. And unfortunately, it had a little bit on the base of it because it'll actually grow up onto the base, which is very annoying. And the main reason why these are so bad is just because of that. They'll grow onto the base of corals and irritate them. So it grew onto the base, and eventually this entire rock was covered in them. They were growing up this torch right here, all the torches, all the euphyllia. They were growing up there. It was getting on the sand. It looked horrible. It was not good for the system, and I was ready to like start throwing away corals, as horrible as that sounds, but they are just such a scourge and one of the worst things I've ever dealt with. So I talked to a buddy of mine, and he said that you can use fenbendazole. It's a canine dewormer. So you can use that, but the thing is it'll stay in the system. So essentially, I believe the rocks will bind to it, and similar to phosphate, and basically it'll just continue to leach out of the system, into the system from the rocks, the sand, things like that. But at this point, I was like, whatever. It supposedly can kill clove polyps and some people think zoas, but I did the treatment, it worked, they're all gone. My zoas were fat and happy. They're open the whole time. You can see these pink diamonds still look really good and are super happy. I need to frag those because I actually don't have any pink diamond frags, but now I actually can frag them because they're not infected with blue clove polyps. My regular clove polyps, these are the Firestorm clove polyps. I'll show you guys. So that's what they look like when they're not happy. And honestly, I don't know if those are gonna die. The relief that I feel having none of the small blue clove polyps, I'll show you guys in a second, is phenomenal. One of the best feelings I've ever felt in my life. So if those don't come back, it's fine, whatever. That's a risk I'm willing to take to get rid of that pest. So this is what they normally look like. They're one of the nicest clove polyps in my opinion. They have the super bright orange and green that contrasts really well to the purple. And they're just super flowy and open. And definitely one of my favorite clove polyp by far, but actually one of my favorite corals. A lot of people like them. They're super popular. One of those corals that I can't really keep in stock, even though they're a clove polyp, so they can be kind of a weed. They do not grow fast enough for me to keep up with production. That tank is now cured from this plague. So I'll show you guys, of course they're gonna be closed up. There's these little black spots right here, and that's them. They're closed up right now. But they are a horrible irritant. I'll throw in a picture for you guys just so you can see them. Luckily, we were able to get rid of those, which is very good, because I was going to lose my mind and literally just throw away all this rock, try to save some of the coral, but restarting it was gonna be horrible. So this fenbendazole worked. I looked at a post from Reef to Reef, and that's how I figured out all the treatment and everything. It worked fantastically. If you guys have that, I would do some research before you do it, but it did work very well for me. Again, you might lose your clove polyps and some other softies, but at the end of the day, if you've dealt with these, it is probably worth it. And then over here, we've got some of the rock flowers in this system. This is a new system that we've got. We've got some of our Montes that are in quarantine here. This is the sump for it. Very simple system, just a little double stack here, plumbed into here. We bought this bottom tank used, and the person who we bought it from definitely made it. It is one of the jankiest tanks I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of tanks, I'll put it that way. This is using 3/4 inch acrylic, so this acrylic could probably hold together like a 300-400 gallon tank. So right off the bat, complete overkill just for the acrylic they used. And then on top of that, they used this little weir system here. They had like a weir, so there were little, black acrylic teeth right there poking up, but they didn't route it out low enough. So the tank, the water level sat like right here, like maybe a millimeter or two below the actual edge of the acrylic if you had like a good amount of flow that you would need for this tank. And so I had to go through and route it out. I took out all the teeth at first because I was lazy and I was hoping, oh, if we just get rid of the teeth, it'll work. Didn't work. So then I had to route out a little bit more space, which I was fine with because I got to use my router that I've barely used. And now this sits at an actual level where I'm not horrified to come in every morning to a flood, because I think this tank, we had it set up for, I'd say 2 months before I went through and actually fixed it, and it flooded like 8 times. So it's very good to not show up to a flood. I will say that. That is one of the best feelings of owning a fish store, is not coming into a flood. Obviously the worst feeling is coming into a flood, especially when it's at like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. because you got an alert that, a tank is overflowing, or a water sensor, a leak detector got turned on or whatever. So this is amazing now. A very simple tank, but it doesn't flood, which is amazing. We've got some of our quarantine here. So we've got some torches in quarantine. We got a bunch of these Holy Grail bananas, absolutely gorgeous torches, and they're super happy. Look at the flesh on that guy. Oh my God, gorgeous, gorgeous. We've got some hologram hammers, some Joker torches. Boring, 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 except over here, I'll show you guys, these are my Chicago sunbursts. Ooh, man. They look a little bit more orange in person. They're a little red on the camera, but these guys are really cool. We've had it for almost 2 years. we had a chromium issue at our old store based on our frag plugs that I've talked a little bit about. I might do a whole in-depth video on that if you guys are interested. But basically, it really did not like the chromium, which is understandable because it's a heavy metal. And it shrunk down. We only had one at the time. It shrunk down, it discolored. It was like brown with a little yellow streaking in it. Horrible. And then we had it for about a year. It took about a year for it to finally recover. Sorry. It took about a year for it to finally recover. And then after a little while, it split into these 3 anemones, and we're gonna start propagating these guys. So hopefully we'll have them on the website in the next like 6 months if I finally get bold enough to cut them. But it's very scary. I need more practice on cutting anemones. I've cut mushrooms before, but I haven't cut too many anemones. It's not super hard, but because they're bigger, it's a little bit more of a challenge. While we're here, I was off today, so I haven't been in the shop yet today. I know, I'm horrible. But I'm here at 9 o'clock, so it makes up for it, right? I need to water my mangroves, and so you guys are gonna have to watch me water my mangroves. I love the mangroves. I've been keeping them for years. This one is like a little mini tree. If anyone's local, we have these for sale. No one really asks about them, and I don't really advertise them because I love them. And I'm not mad if I have to hold on to them for a very prolonged period of time because they look really cool, and I love growing a little tree out of my tank. But it's very important to spray them. I say it's very important. I have one at home that I spray once every like 3 months, but it does not grow at all. So you don't have to spray them, but they're not gonna grow. If you spray them, they will grow. Sorry, you spray them with RO water. I spray them with RO water. You can spray them with fresh water, but you wanna use RO water because it might get in your tank. The way that these plants work is super cool. So they soak up the salt water, right? But they can't use salt water to actually nourish themselves. So what they do is they have a little filter inside them, and they filter out the salt, and then they just use the water. And so what they do with that extra salt is they cover the bottoms and tops of their leaves with it. And so when you're spraying them with fresh water, you're getting that salt off and allowing them to reaccumulate it. So it's very good for the plant and allows it to grow. Next up, this system is our SPS quarantine system. You'll notice there's almost no SPS in here, and that is because we are addicted to buying corals, and I don't like buying acros because it's a lot of work to get them cleaned. You have to worry about a lot of pests, and I don't buy SPS very often because of that. So right now it's filled with mushroom rocks, hammers, a bunch of hammers, some SPS, but not really any acros, some torches, a few Monties back there, some more mushrooms. Next up, we've got my favorite system, of course. You guys knew we were gonna come here. This is the SPS system. It's looking good. I'm happy with it. I got a customer who traded in some anacroporas, which is cool. I love these guys. I actually took home a piece to put in my tank at home. That is one of the biggest benefits of owning a fish store is you can have pretty much any coral you want, which is very nice because when I was younger, before I opened this place up, I was spending almost all my money on corals and fish to stock. Back then I had a 150, so it was more money to stock it. And I was not making a lot of money because I was in high school and then like a freshman in college. Anyways, long story short, now I can actually get corals that I want, but of course I'm a weirdo and I like weird stuff that isn't even really expensive. So I got a nice big anacropora for my tank at home. It's a little Red Sea Nano. I'll show you guys once it's actually clean because I'll be honest, the last thing you want to do when you own a fish store is go home and do a water change. So I have to admit to you guys, I've been very bad with my water changes, but I'm back on track now. I'm back on track. I was supposed to do a water change today, but I did not. But I have a good excuse. This is my girlfriend's birthday, so I'll do it on Sunday, maybe. probably. Hopefully. Do your water changes, okay? The store always gets the water changes. My house, whatever. The store always gets the water changes. Your tank should always get the water changes. Stay consistent. That's the key to success. Whenever anything goes wrong in my tank, I do a water change and then it's back to normal. It's happy again. Do 2 or 3 water changes. Do your water changes, but also test your water. I personally would rather add stuff to the water than back off the water changes. So if your nitrates get low, I recommend just dosing nitrate. Reefroids, really good sources of nitrates. And it also is gonna be nourishing the corals because it's got all those amino acids and fun stuff, protein. So yeah, just I would do your water changes, long story short, and test your water. Test your water and do your water changes, okay? Very important, very important. Otherwise you'll make me sad, and that's not good. If you guys watched my other vlog, I kind of went over this. This is where we kind of have our other pieces. These are some new acros we got. Sorry, the glass is, okay, this is really embarrassing for me. The glass is horribly dirty. Just don't pay attention to the glass. Just look at those pretty acros. So this one is I think it's a diver cotta, similar to the Paletta pink tips, things like that. A really beautiful piece. I can't wait till it colors up a little bit more. And then we got some tenuouses here. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna turn off, okay, power head's already off because Kevin left it off because he always forgets to turn it back on after he takes photos. Very annoying. I'll be yelling at him later, don't worry guys. He needs some discipline, okay? So these tenuouses I'm very excited about. You can see this green one here with the yellow and the axial tips. Really nice. Let me change the angle a little bit. Try not to dip the camera in the water. This one has a lot of potential. The red polyps are absolutely gorgeous. I love a red polyp acro. I love blue tips and I love the yellow axial polyps. So I'm really excited for this one to see what it turns into. Normally with these acros, they're maricultured. So I bring them in, I let them sit for, you can kind of tell when they're done coloring up. These guys are nowhere close, but usually 3 to 6 months, depending on the species. Like this diver cotta, honestly, I might leave it for another month or 2. These guys come in pretty colored up. The tenuouses take a while to color up, but this guy, I mean, he is absolutely stunning. Wow. The camera's picking it up really well too. Really gorgeous piece, and I'm excited to start fragging that guy up. But this one has a ton of potential. This one I'd say looks really nice right now, but I think some of the other ones have a little bit more potential. This one is a nice green base, some blue tips, again, the yellow axial polyps and some nice pink to it. This one here is gonna be a little bit more similar to the other one. It's also got red polyps, it's a little tougher to see. The other one has kind of more pinkish polyps, but this one's also got red polyps, blue tips, yellow axial polyps. I think this one has the most potential. It's also got a little bit of green down at the base. I don't know if you guys can see. That one I think has the most potential and I'm very excited for. This one is also very nice. Again, it's a little green, got a little pink to it. Blue tips, yellow axial polyps. We have some really nice hologram hammers in grow out. These 24K hammers. I didn't focus on these too much last time because I love acros so much, but I know you guys, oh my God. I know you guys like the Euphilia. Everyone does. No one appreciates my sticks, but it's okay. These are really beautiful. But these are some of the ones we're growing out. With some ASD Holy Grails. I gotta go back in and turn on that pump. Hopefully I don't forget. And then the main display, I've got some of that Anacropora in here now. It needs to color up because this was kind of like the part that was getting shaded, if that makes sense. So it needs to color up like the rest of it. We got some new green slimers. So I cut some green slimer frags off those. Those are a colony that a customer brought in for me. I mean, pretty much every green slimer is something a customer brings in. I can't really buy green slimer from like a wholesaler or anything, which sucks because it's a very popular piece and I get asked about them all the time. So that's why I've been kind of, growing my farm. I've got, 15 little frags here that I'm trying to grow out. But I finally got some nice bigger chunks. So I fragged those guys up 2 weeks ago. So the frags might be up by the time this video comes out. We'll see. It's really just once they encrust, I'm gonna photograph them and put them online. But they're looking super happy. Some nice chunkier frags for you guys. Some people were talking in my last video about my tiny frags, size shaming me, which I think is messed up, but I get it. So I've got some, you know, 1.5 inch frags, maybe even 2 inches, depending on who's measuring. And those guys should be going on the website pretty soon. I forgot to mention this last time. I don't know how, because this is like my favorite coral, because the story behind it is so cool, and I just love grafted corals. But I need to show you guys this, and of course I can't really, I'm gonna pick it up. So this is what I call our QCC Twisted Time Machine Grafted Bird's Nest, okay? And you can see the neon green coming out of there. Absolutely gorgeous. So this is a Lazy's Blue Zing bird's nest. So the story, like, this is why it's my favorite coral. The story behind that is that it actually was bred in a guy, Lazy's Coral Farm or something like that. It was bred in his system. So he had 2 bird's nests. I think it was a neon green bird's nest and a bird of paradise or some other bird's nest, basically. And it spawned in his system and led to this bird's nest, basically. So it's only this exact coral only exists in captivity, which I think is really cool. And it's one of the only corals in the hobby, especially, that's been bred. And I've got frags of that on the website. You guys can see it's a nice bird's nest. It's one of my favorite bird's nests. I actually need to get a frag for my tank at home, but it's a nice bird's nest. I had this Lazy's Blue Zing bird's nest colony, much smaller at the time, obviously, next to these ORA neon green bird's nests, right? And what happened is the neon green fluorescent protein in that bird's nest jumped and infected the Lazy's Blue Zing bird's nest. So it's technically not a true graft because it's not 2 corals, but the cool thing about this, which I think is almost even better than a graft, is that it'll just pop up like randomly, right? So like you can see on that colony, the neon green coming out there on this side, up here, down here. You can see some on the back side, some underneath. So when it's that fluorescent protein, it'll just pop up everywhere because it's been infected. So it's in the DNA. So theoretically, even these frags that are off of that colony could sprout the neon green. So maybe I should, well, I've got a couple frags here. My other frags that I've been growing out right here haven't gotten it yet, but who knows? And also, I mean, I could put it next to a neon green and it'd probably get it. And I'll tell you why that's really cool is because with a normal grafted piece, like say this grafted Cyphastria, you'll see it's kind of split half and half, right? So if I cut just this orange part or just this yellow part, the frag is gonna be just orange or just yellow. You have to get both on the frag in order for it to grow. So you guys might see some of this orange one here. This is a frag off of that colony, I believe. But I don't sell it as a grafted piece because it doesn't have any of the other one in it. So it's not gonna become grafted because it doesn't have that DNA actually in it. The graft is just where 2 corals grow together. So those pieces I just sell individually as their own thing. These, I also do that because I don't wanna sell you a piece that I say is grafted and then it just never grafts for you because that's stupid. Like, I wanna sell you guys a piece that's actually grafted. So I only sell the actual grafted pieces as grafted, but if you guys wanna take a chance and get a bird's nest for really cheap, because I sell these Lazy Blue Zing for like 15, 30 bucks, depending on the size. You could try it and see if it grafts the green, or you could put it next to a neon green bird's nest and see if it catches it that way. Or you can just buy, you know, regular frag, whatever. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. I don't know how I didn't last time, because that's literally my favorite coral in the store. and is, I don't know, I feel a deep connection to it because it's something that happened in my system. So I just think that's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I could stare at this tank for hours. I don't know if you guys want to do that. If you do, you should come by the shop. I'm happy to talk your ear off about it. I've had several customers come in and talk to me about it. And I love it because it means I don't have to do regular work and I can just talk about acros, which, I mean, you know, who doesn't want that, right? Okay, so moving on from the acro tank, we've got our Frogspawn tank. So this tank, we got a bunch of Frogspawns. Not really updates with this one other than, honestly, right, here's the thing with Frogspawns. They're very seasonal, right? So it's hard to find, like, I'll get a bunch of Frogspawns in and then it'll be like 3 months before I can get more of that color right in. So what I decided to start doing is just buying a shit ton of them. And then I have a bunch later when I can't get any more. So right now I have a really good selection of Frogspawn. As you guys can see, I have almost every color. And actually, speaking of grafted corals, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I've never seen a grafted Frogspawn before. So I've got 2 frags left. This one has a very tiny graft. Obviously it's closed, so you can't really see it too well. But I've got 2 of these frags left, and it's a grafted Frogspawn, which is so sick. It's green and then like kind of a peachy color, which like it's already a pretty cool color Frogspawn, and then it's also grafted, which is just crazy. So yeah, that's basically all the updates with the Frogspawn tank. Really cool grafted. Inverts, this is our invert system. Update is we've got inverts in there. Snails. Yay, exciting. Exciting, I know. And then this is our torch tank. We've got some pretty torches in. Some of the banana grails here, looking nice and happy. Some ASDs, oh my God, burning the lens up there so bright. Jeez Louise. Yeah, oh, here's some of the blueberries. Yeah, so these guys, or sorry, not blueberry, blue light torches. So these guys should be on the website definitely by the time you guys are seeing this video. By the time my editor makes it through this rambling footage, that will probably end up being like an hour long, despite the fact that I came in here saying, what am I gonna record? I like to talk, and I like to hear myself talk. That's why I'm a YouTuber. Next up in this system, we have some Zoas. Yay, these are some really gorgeous Zoas. Unfortunately, these had a pest on them. That's why they're isolated in here. I don't remember if I talked about this last time. I don't think so. But basically they had Zoa eating spiders, so we've been dipping them. We've had them for about a month now, and basically what I do with dipping is I wait until I haven't seen any, and then I wait like 3 more weeks. So I haven't seen any since the second time we dipped them. And with Zoa eating spiders, what I found to work really well is fresh water, but you can only do it for about 3 minutes, and you need to inspect them during that period because there's nothing that really kills the spiders. It just kind of paralyzes them. You do want to adjust the pH of the fresh water. So I use this stuff here, this marine buffer right here. That works really well. Very simple. You just add that into the fresh water, a heater, a power head. Bada bing, bada boom. Dip them for 3 minutes, pull them out. I usually dip them, pull them out, and then I inspect them and go through them all just to make sure there's no spiders. And while they're in the freshwater dip, I'll usually blow them off with a turkey baster. So that's the update on these guys. Hopefully we'll have some of these Zoas soon because they're actually really nice. And I don't have a lot of Zoas right now. If you guys look at the site, I'll be embarrassed because I love Zoas. I'm a Zoa farmer. And we have like not even 100 Zoas on the website. So please don't mention it or I will cry. We also got some glitter bomb Ganis in. We got a bunch of colonies. You can't really tell because they're like kind of closed up and stuff. But those are glitter bomb Ganis. I'll show you more in the Gani tank. But first, we gotta show you the guys the hammers. I gotta go in order here, otherwise I will be running all around this place because I have very bad ADHD. You guys couldn't tell that at all. I hide it very well. So hammer tank, Not really any updates. These Malaysian yellow splatter Malaysian hammers are pretty cool. Reverse. These reverse Asian hammers, yellow splatter, are really cool. They have obviously like a reverse splattering. Typically when you see the splattered hammers, they'll have more purple, but these are pretty cool. You got my hologram hammer. Oh my God, can you focus? Jeez Louise! The camera's just like me, it can't focus. A bunch of hologram hammers back here. Obviously they're kind of closed up, but they're super nice. I got this one on the website right now. Absolutely fire. Somebody better buy this one. Maybe it might be sold by the time you guys see this video, but hopefully it's not. One of you guys can grab it. Shouts out to YouTube. You guys are the best. We've got some torches in here because we ran out of space in the torch tank. So this is where the rest of the torches went. Actually, that's a lie. There's some more torches over there. You guys like torches, so we bring in a lot of torches for you guys. This tank is left side, very simple, very basic, very demure. Ganis over here on this side. I've got some more of those glitter bombs here. This one is really cool. This one's probably my favorite. I don't know how well. The camera doesn't pick it up very well, but it's kind of like a mix, a multicolor. Like some of the faces, man, I wish the camera could pick this up. Some of the faces are like a purple, and then some of them are more like a whitish, but it's really cool. Some more Ganis. This fathead dendro colony. If one of you guys wants this fathead dendro colony, DM us on like Instagram or Facebook, or comment down below. But this one's really cool. I love the fathead dendros. I had one for a really long time. These are the fathead dendro frags. These are available on the website. That colony, we're just gonna probably frag up once these sell. But if you guys want it, I'll definitely sell it. And then we just got in some of these trumpets. I love trumpets. I love me some trumpets. So these are teal with like a brighter teal on the center. So those are pretty cool. And then we've got some blastos. We got some red ones, some purple. The blue centers are really cool. I love the blue centers. But apparently you guys don't, because this one's been on the website for like a month. Messed up. Then we got the Merlettis. It's not picking it up, and oh, there we go. It's got kind of a yellow mouth, which is pretty cool. So I like the Merlettis. They're a smaller one. We got some of the kryptonite trumpets that are super bright, like literally, like I can't even pick them up. Some of the Beetlejuices, regular teal ones, some mushroom overflow, and then we got some Duncans that are closed up because the lights were off, of course. Next tank is our Acans. We got some rainbow Acans in recently, so we have some rainbow Acan frags on the website. Acans have been difficult to get recently, so that's why our stock's been a little bit lighter, but we're starting to get them in again. And then I would say in the next like month or so, we should really be starting to get some nice rainbows back in again. Actually, maybe 2 months, don't quote me. We should be getting some more in, but we still have some nice ones. Oh my God, this rainbow one here is absolutely insane. Nicest one I've seen. We've also got some Bower Bankies. Look at that. Any like real like Bower Banky lovers are gonna love this one. It's got yellow. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, flopping over. I've got a couple frags of that available right now. Again, you guys are fake reefers. You don't like Acan Bower Bankies. I'm just kidding, I completely understand. That one has like not grown, has maybe grown like a single head in the 6 months we've had it. So they are slow growing, but they are really cool looking. And definitely this one with the like red and gold is pretty unique. Next up, we've got our mushrooms. Sorry, it's late, I forgot what words were. So we've got some nice ones here. My favorite new additions, and this is the only time you'll catch me saying this, is these pin cushion. Now, I'm normally staunchly against the pin cushion, not because I don't think they look nice, but because I think they're overpriced. But these are actually crazy. Like, look at this one. And this isn't even the nice one. That's the craziest part. This one is actually nutty. And of course, the camera does not want to focus because it's so beautiful. This one's like super orange. It's really sick. So that's my mushroom tank update. We've got a bunch of jawbreakers, obviously. I mean, come on, we gotta do the jawbreakers, right? Right, folks? Oh, wait, I can actually show you guys. Watch the camera not pick this up. Okay, this one is a Candy Crush, but it's got yellow in it, which is sick. We're getting the pointer out. Getting the pointer out, folks. Okay, that right there, of course I'm using an orange pointer on the orange coral. That right there is the yellow streak. Oh yeah, there you go. You can kind of see it now. But that's really cool. The yellow is definitely hard to find. We bought like 150 or something jawbreakers, and I think there was 2 that had the yellow in them. So definitely rare and harder to find. Next up in this tank is kind of a junk tank, a bunch of different stuff. So on this left side, we've got some of our instant gardens. So if you guys want like a couple of hammers together, they're on one tile. A lot of people like them because you can get an instant hammer garden or instant Frogspawn garden. And then we've got our SPS ones. So instant Monty garden, instant SPS garden. It looks pretty cool, especially when they grow out. I try to mix corals that won't sting and kill each other. So as you can see, they're like pretty, I mean, especially the SPS, I mean, they're pretty encrusted. You can see this guy's pretty big. And they do well. You can trim them down a little bit, but they look really cool when they grow in. It's like you can see the stylo garden. Yeah, looks really sick when it grows in because you kind of have all those colors mixing together. I've got a few straggler acros here, a bunch of mushroom rocks that we got in that we haven't fragged yet. This one is sick. This mushroom right here is absolutely a chonker. I forgot what we called that one. But then we got some St. Thomas mushrooms, pretty cool. Some more mushroom rocks, some chalices. Oh my God. Look at that grafted chalice. Again, you guys are fake reefers. You don't like my grafted chalices. I just sold, I think maybe the first frag. This is our Venusaur grafted chalice. I love grafted things and I love chalices. But you can see what the colony looks like. The colony is super sick. It's kind of got the blue, the green, the orange, the red, and then it gets this like striations through it. So sick, so sick. I just sold my first piece in like 6 months or something, so they're super encrusted and chunky. And then we've got my pajama pants chalice. That one is also sick. It's not like a grafted piece, but it is really sick. Similar to the Raja and pajamas. But cheaper. Because I love you guys and you deserve it. But a really cool chalice. I'm very biased because I love chalices and I think almost every chalice is a really cool chalice. But I've still got a few frags of those. I've got some rainbow chalice frags. I'll probably be adding some more because I just fragged some more a couple weeks ago. There's a really cool black elegance here. That one is sold, unfortunately, guys. Sorry, snooze, you lose. L's in the chat. Man, yeah, I'm 12 years old. Sorry, guys. I'm teaching you lingo so you can talk to your kids, okay? These are some pictinias that I fragged off of a pictinia we're growing out, which is pretty cool. Had some nice orange and green to it. Not the Space Invader pictinia because that one is super slow growing. And it's very expensive and people don't like buying pictinias, so I don't want to buy a big colony of it because it's never going to make me money. So I bought a frag and I've been growing it out for like 3 years now, and maybe in like 5 years I can frag it, maybe. I've also got this, we've got these rainbow chalices. Lame. And then we got this Bernardapora that's super sick that I need to frag, but it just looks so pretty. I don't want to cut it, it's so pretty. And then we got some leathers, clove polyps, softies in there. Next up in this tank, this is we call it the $15 tank because almost every coral in here is $15. Unfortunately, guys, the torches are not $15. I hate to say it. If they were, we would probably go out of business. But this is just where they overflowed to. So most of these pieces are $15. There's a few exceptions, but for the most part, they're all 15 bucks. So I got a bunch of frags in here. A lot of these pieces, like, I mean, Guys, why don't you want to buy this? This is such a sick fobia. This I've had on the website for like 2 months. It's $15. What do I need to do? I'm gonna take it home if you guys don't buy it. Look at that one, so encrusted. It's starting to grow on the rack. That's the problem with this tank, honestly, is sometimes, like some of the weirder, like more unique corals, I'll call them unique because I don't want to call them weird. They'll start growing on the racks. You can see like Mr. Freeze lepto growing on the rack. Some of the Mystic Monty growing on the rack. This one makes me cry. This is the Grafted Cyphastria. I think I sold a frag. Actually, no, I sold a frag to one of my employees. So I didn't make any money, but it's gone at least. But it's growing on the rack now because you guys don't like Cyphastrias, which makes me sad because I have a whole tank dedicated to them. But it's fine. I'm gonna make a display tank at home and I'll move them there because you guys hate me and don't want me to have any Cyphastrias, which is very sad. But we got a bunch of $15 corals in stock. And even if you guys don't want to buy my Cyphastrias, I still have stuff for the rest of you normal people who don't like weird shit like me that's like dumb and doesn't look super pretty. Speaking of super pretty things, this tank has a lot of those. So over here, this is like kind of this is all stuff that goes on your sand bed, right? Meat corals, Scolies, stuff like that. Bubble corals, I gotta fix this one because it's falling over and I can't get up. There we go. The bubble corals, this one is super sick. It's almost got like 3 colors to it. Like it's got kind of like the neon green, like a lighter green and like a blue. Super cool. But we got a good amount of bubble corals right now. They have to be pretty far away from other pieces because they'll sting the shit out of them. This is one of my favorite new pieces. This is a Chimera trachea. And so as you can see, it's 2 different trachees that are like fused together basically, but they share a mouth. So it's 1 trachea, but it's 2 trachees. Does that make sense? It's basically the DNA of 2 trachees, but it's 1 trachea. So it's a really unique piece. That one should be on the website unless someone buys it. I feel like someone won't because I've gotten these before. And even though they're super unique, I feel like I'm hating on you guys too much. I'm gonna be honest, because I like weird stuff. And then I get mad when people don't like weird stuff, even though that's like very valid. But people don't appreciate it. But hopefully you guys will, because you guys are different than other reefers. You're YouTube watchers, and you're the best. Don't forget, don't let anybody tell you anything different, okay? You're the best. And I'm not just saying that because you're watching my video, of course. Then we got some other trachees, pretty cool, pretty nice, pretty nice. This one's got some nice pink to it. Oh, I wanna show you guys this. This is a master Scolie, right? And you're like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Wow. Absolutely stunning piece. Oh my God, Graham. Thank you for showing this to me. This is beautiful, gorgeous. Bam, blammo, look at that. Look at that on the back, a double. So basically what happened with this one is I'm unboxing this master Scolie, I'm dipping it, right? Because I dip all of my corals because like you guys, I'm a responsible reefer and I dip everything. And I'm inspecting the bottom and I see this, when we got this in, I've had this for like 8 months now. It was probably the size of just that mouth right there. So super tiny, but I was like, oh my God. And so apparently they've started doing this in Australia a little bit, but you can cut the bottom of a Scolie and then a new one will just start growing out the back. And I think it's gonna end up looking like this one because you can see it's definitely a master. It's starting to develop that purple coloration and I think it's gonna go all the way around. But a super cool piece, one that I'm not selling because I'm a hoarder. But hey, everything's got a price. If you're some secret billionaire, offer me $10,000 and it can be in your tank. Moving on to more serious things, we've got these really cool Wilson eyes here that I fragged, God, like 5 months ago now. But they're super fluffy. Like some of the fluffiest Wilson eyes I've ever seen. They're not like red and rainbowy, so they've been sitting here for a while. But as you can see, I mean, like you can't even tell that I like really fragged it because it's grown over so well. but really nice splattering on it and a really beautiful piece. And I think I'm gonna take home that baby one because we've had it for so long, and I guess you guys don't want it, so I'll just take it home and put it in my tank. We've got some nice, pretty cool endophilia right here. The camera doesn't pick it up great, but nice endophilia there. Really cool scenerina here. Nice acantho. Another nice acantho. Another nice acantho. Oh my God, what are you doing to us, Grant? And then we've got our Scolies. Some really beautiful ones. We've sold, since we got this batch in, we've sold a good amount of the regular ones, so we have a lot of masters left, which I'm not mad about. I mean, like, look at this one. This thing is gorgeous. It's got that orange stripe. Oh my God. Somebody buy me, please. And then we got this one. Oh my God, also insane. We also got this one. This one's probably my favorite. I love that like light blue splattering. I just think it's super unique. You don't really find it a lot on the Scolies. So that one's also really sick. Bam, another one. Oh my God, they just keep coming. That one is also pretty sick. Another one here. Oh my God, look at that. Crazy. And our final one of the evening, folks, is this one. There's a really cool yellow in it. Oh. Obviously, you don't see yellow too much, so that's pretty cool. This one also, I just noticed, it's like a reverse war paint, right? But it's got this really sick pink on it, which is pretty cool. So that's our regular Scolies. We've also got button Scolies. And then these are technically Acan Maximas, I believe, but people in the hobby call them Scolies. So we usually just end up calling them Scolies to not confuse people. So we've got a bunch of button Scolies as well, though. Some greens, reds, purples, yay. Really fun. Under here, I've got some plate corals hiding. These are the Citrus Sky, and they're really cool. I actually have a colony. I'll show it to you later in a different video, I promise. I promise. You're gonna hold me to my word. Over here, we've got a couple of neglectus mushrooms left over. It's about to cut off. I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay, we're back. 10 o'clock now. Bam. We've been at it for an hour. Oh my God. Neglectus mushrooms. Pretty cool, pretty unique. Nice color. Normally they come in green and ugly poo-poo, caca. But these are really nice, especially under like wider lights, but this is like pretty blue. But they got some nice red and orange to them. Then we've got some of our WYSIWYG rock flowers. These are really popular because people can actually see them. This one is like sick. This one is one like I might take home. Cause this one's got like some green splattering in it, which is really cool. And then like some blue and I don't know, that one's sick. You guys should buy that before I take it home. Then we've got our zoas. As I said, guys, please don't make fun of me. I'm sorry. I know there's no zoas in here. I think there's like 60 zoas here. I'm gonna cry, but it's what we got, okay? And I promise I'm working on getting more zoas and fragging more, but it takes a little time to ramp up production. So here's the zoa farm, guys. You can see a bunch of zoas. Unfortunately, the zoa farm has been invaded by an Astropora. Again, another coral that nobody buys, very sadly. A Hydnophora, another coral nobody buys. As you can tell, they're starting to become a theme with this tank. Fascination Favia, people don't really buy. And then some rainbow chalices, which people do buy. Oh my God, that's a gorgeous coral. This one I haven't fragged yet. I'm just teasing you guys with it. Maybe I'll have, you know what? Maybe I'll frag it for you guys, just special for the video, you know? But that one's really cool. It's like a stained glass chalice. This is the Rock'em Sock'em chalice. Gorgeous piece. The fruit salad chalice. Really nice. Some Blasto Merletis. Some Montes in the back there. I don't know why I put them in there. But they're in there. So, and then this is my other softy grow out tank. It was Zoas. It was like the Captain Jerks, as you can see. And then I started throwing other stuff in here, like these sick-ass Grandis Pallies. I love me some Grandis Pallies. And then It's got some branching GSP in here, some black GSP, some of the black pipe organ. That one's really cool. I think I made some frags of that. Also, our Duncan grow out, which is still kind of in beta testing. We just kind of frag off that if we run out of Duncans. But we're not like producing all of our own Duncans right now, which hopefully will change soon. And then I've got some trumpets in grow out. These are really sick. These have like white striping in them. Those are really sick. Beautiful. Firestorm clove polyps that aren't open and are kind of mad that I turned the lights on. These yellow clove polyps that I haven't fragged yet. So clove polyps, when you get them from the wild, they like look like bad and closed up. You can kind of tell. Like you can tell they hit a point where they're aquacultured because they look completely different. Like they like with these fireworks, like you can tell if it focuses on it. You can see like they get really open and happy, and the texture changes. I don't know really how to describe it. Basically the texture changes on them. So those are getting there. The yellow ones are almost there to where I can start fragging them and where I'll like start to call them aquacultured. But they're not quite there yet. Then we've got our Zoa frag tank where I've got like, basically I make my Zoa frags and I throw them in here to let them heal up before they go on the website. So obviously it's very light and disappointing, and I'm gonna cry because it's so empty. But there's a few cool pieces. This one looks like an Acan Bowerbankie. You would think it was, and so did I, which is why I put it next to my other Acan Bowerbankies, but it's not. It's actually a Lobo, type of Lobo. But it's super sick, and I just made 2 frags a week or 2 ago. So those should be on the website soon. They usually sell pretty quick, but it will still sting your Acan Bowerbankies, so don't put it next to them. But it's super sick, like bleeding apple, basically. Here's the frags, if you guys can see them. Pretty nice, nice coloration to them. But just kind of a unique piece that you don't see all the time. I'm starting to grow out those pipe organs just for fun. And then we've got some of our Frogspawn that basically what happens with Frogspawns and hammers is as they grow their skeleton, they'll like pop off little babies off the side. And so I went through and fragged a bunch, and so I just fragged the main ones, and then there's a bunch of little babies around the side. So I just throw them in here, and then they grow and they get big, and then they become big boy Frogspawns. Yay. I got a little rusted rock there. This is that Pectinia that I fragged off of, that those frags are from. Pretty nice coloration to it. Pretty cool piece. The next tank is my baby. My tank that makes no money. My tank that Kevin wants me to get rid of because he hates me and he hates losing money, which is fair. Because this tank does not make us any money. Please, 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 I'm begging you guys, buy chalices and Cyphastrias so I can keep this dumb, stupid tank that makes me happy. I'm gonna keep it anyways, I don't care. So yeah, we basically got a bunch of chalices all throughout here. This one, well, this one's my favorite, the Raja Rampage. I mean, it's a gorgeous piece. I've been growing it out for like 2 years. It started as like just those 2 middle mouths, but now it's pretty big. So I started fragging it recently. But I really like this one too. Pretty unique piece. I've got some of the frags of the chalices there. And then I've got some Stylostanellas, some Burning Banana, Jack-o'-lantern leptos, some other leptos, some other stylos. And then over here are my Cyphastrias. This is another grafted one, the Goldsmith grafted that I got. I think I talked about this in the tour video, so I'm not gonna belabor it, but I've also got some of the branching Cyphastrias here, which are pretty cool. This is a Yellow Submarine Favia. A really nice piece there. The grafted Cyphastria, as I was telling you guys about, that's the, oh God, I forgot the name of it, guys. I'm sorry, it's late though. I promise that's the reason. I love Cyphastrias. I'm not fake, okay? The Skittles Bomb Cyphastria, the Free Care Litho, Spicy Lemon Favites, This is the TSA Swamp Monster Favia, which is a pretty cool one. And then we've got some more what you see is what you get rock flowers. I'm not gonna turn the flow off on this because it's got a power head and I don't wanna do that. And then I've got a tank that's off because I don't have the login on my phone. But this has the plates I was telling you guys about. Oh, you can kind of see them. But it's basically a giant plate that died and then a bunch of baby plates pop out of it, which is really cool. So I'm kind of farming those, which is fun. I got some Recordias there. That is a Doughboy bounce. Obviously it's closed up now, but it's pretty cool. And then we get a lot of our $15 frags that I frag them and I put them in here, let them start to encrust, heal up, and then I move them over, photograph them, all that. Got some Ganis over here, some Alveoporas, and then some more $15 frags. Some Jawbreakers in this basket here. And one more tank, well, one more system. Order holding system. This is for Tuesdays and Wednesdays orders. The only thing I have in here that I'm gonna tell you guys about, other than my chalices I showed you guys earlier, is this. This is our Devil's Lettuce macroalgae. Really cool, similar to the Dragon's Breath, but it's, let me turn the flow off for you guys. But it's got like little red spots, which are super sick. You guys can see them there. That stuff is really cool for either like a display refugium, or even like a nano tank. Like my 20-gallon at home, I have some display algae in there. Because I was very lazy and didn't want to do water changes. And so algae don't really care what the nutrients are. So they'll always do well no matter what. And then we've got some more WYSIWYG rock flowers here. I think you guys have seen plenty of those. Some more rock flowers in here, very empty, we need more. And that's it, folks. That's the store. I don't really oh, hold on, guys. I got one more thing. I'm fairly confident no one is watching this video, which is fine, and I understand. And oh my God, I almost ruined us, guys. I messed this thing up, and that definitely would have flooded. And then I would have, remember how I said this tank doesn't flood anymore? That would have been funny though. That would have been funny. So we just got in a new batch of quarantine fish. Yay! So we just started copper treatment on these guys. I think, again, I was not here today, so I don't know. But started copper on these guys, I believe. They should be ready in like 4 to 6 weeks. By the time you're seeing this video, like 3 to 5 weeks. And then we've got this system, which is completely empty. We finally sold all the, oh my God, this is so orange. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, I did not mean to, hold on, let me take the lens off. I did not mean to nuke you guys like that. But this system is all empty. We finally sold all the fish, which I'm very happy about. Oh my God, it's still orange. Which is good because we weren't sure if we could actually sell quarantine fish, if there was enough of a demand for it, especially locally. And then we are shipping them, so you guys can see them on our website. There might not be a ton of stock because this is all the systems we have. This system right here is filled with gem tangs. So we don't have a ton of fish on the website because these just started quarantine and then this is empty. So we're actually gonna be getting a fish order in maybe this week, maybe next week. So there should be a bunch more fish in the next, let's call it 2 months. There should be a bunch more fish online because these 2 systems will be done. If you guys have any special requests, shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook ideally, or you can like email us, because the YouTube comments are too much and I don't handle the Instagram and Facebook. That's Kevin. So make his life worse and not mine. And that's the final update, I promise. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope the one person who's still watching at this point, because this video is like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. We'll see what my editor cuts it down to. But I hope the one viewer who's still watching is enjoying it. And if you guys do enjoy it, make sure to subscribe, leave me a like below, comment which was your favorite tank or favorite coral, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, real quick, I ended the video, but I did want to say, and I want to put this joke at the end because I don't think it's very funny, I am doing I am doing a King of DIY cosplay. That's why I got the white beater on, okay? That's just for the OGs, okay? Half of you guys might not even know who that is because he's like a freshwater creator, but he was one of the first YouTubers that I watched. So shouts out to you, King of DIY. You are definitely not watching this video because why the fuck would you? Why would anyone watch this video? But thank you for watching. Bye.